And ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the main event here for Tailgate Tuesday, live from Las Vegas Motor Speedway. It is the Las Vegas 200 playoff race here on NASCAR Heat 5 for the NASCAR Tailgate Truck Series drivers. We see two trucks bouncing off each other here as we begin the broadcast. Stage 1 has just come to a close and got them in the number 32. Chevy Silverado is going to take home the Stage 1 win. Jesse Carlson is going to finish in second, Nick Donfrancesco in third, Jordan Roughton in fourth, and Josh Colm-Diaz in fifth. They're going to take home the stage points, and this is critical, folks. It's key.
It's 23 to 17.
Oh, okay, I gotcha. And this is a big race, folks. It's key. It's critical. It's the very first race in the round of 8. 8 drivers enter this race with a big chance, a big opportunity to advance their way to the championship round. Nick Donfrancesco, Jesse Carlson, Beam SKP, Brett Baker, Alex Tesdall, Jeffrey Robinson Jr., Jordan Roughton, and Timmy Brown in the 8 truck. We finished off the broadcast earlier tonight at Bristol, not 110% sure on who advanced, but we thought that it was Timmy Brown and Armstrong tying for the final spot. Turns out, with Timmy Brown finishing in 5th in Stage 2 and getting that 1 point, he was able to edge Armstrong by 1 point and advance his way to the round of 8, and we are green for Stage 2. 134 lap race here at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. They are already done. Stage number 1, these drivers getting about 24 laps on fuel here tonight at Vegas, and I'm NASCAR CEO and founder Tyler McMurder, alongside my 2 in-race reporters, Alex Tesdall in the 98 and Cameron Norton in the 3. Cameron Norton in the 3 was eliminated earlier tonight in the round of 12. Alex Tesdall solid in the round of 8 as of now, coming off a strong win earlier tonight at Bristol. Thanks a bunch to both of you for joining me.
No problem.
It's been a solid start to the Las Vegas 200 so far. The newcomer got them in the number 32 Chevy Silverado. He's off to a great start. Good friend with Nick Donfrancesco in the 24, who trails behind him in second. And of course, Nick in that 24 truck, the regular season champion, 7 wins this season, arguably the favorite to go all the way and win the 2021 NASCAR Tailgate Truck Series Championship. Right behind him, Jesse Carlson, driver of the 88 Ford F-150 for Steel Horse Motorsports. And don't count him out either. 4 wins this season, and very much a threat to win the championship this year as well. There's Timmy Brown, former Brickyard 200 winner in the NASCAR Motormaster Series. He edged his way into the round of 8 by 1 single point over Armstrong in the 15 trucks, so keep your eye on Timmy. He's very much looking forward to Talladega next Tuesday. Arguably his best chance to get a win and clinch a spot in the Final 4. There's a good look at Beam SKP, full-time driver out of France, driving the number 16 Toyota Tundra for Rockstar Racing, advanced his way into the round of 8. He has a win this year. He won the Brickyard 150 at the Indy Roval road course earlier this season. Right now, solidly scored on the lead lap and in the top 10. Enters the round of 8 with 8 playoff points to his total, and that's going to put him 1 point above the cut line to begin the round of 8 here. He did not score stage points in Stage 1, though. And there's a good look at Alex Tesdall, driver of the number 98 Ford F-150, coming off a big win earlier tonight at Bristol, becoming the 11th different Triple Crown winner in NASCAR history, holding a cup win, a Motormaster win, and a truck win. And that locked him into the round of 8. Those playoff points carry over with all of these drivers as well, and picked up some of those with that win. Right now in the top 10 in 6th, and just found the outside wall, so he's going to get challenged by Jordan Roughton. Speaking of Jordan Roughton, playoff driver as well, made it to the round of 8. He's going to start with 5 playoff points to his total. Came so close earlier tonight to picking up that first ever truck win at Bristol. Qualified on the pole, won both stages, and running 5th right now in this race and looking to advance his way, punch his ticket into the round of 4. There's Jeffrey Robinson Jr. for Rockstar Racing, Toyota Tundra number 51. Round of 8 playoff driver as well. No truck wins in his career, but he's come close on many occasions. Starting 3 points below the cut line for the round of 8. And that's a rundown on the playoff drivers in the field for everybody. The only playoff driver not attending this race is Brett Baker. one of the round of 8 drivers, so he'll be in a must-win situation next week for Talladega and Martinsville. And this is the battle for the race lead up front. The 32 of Gotham has got the lead, and it's Nick Francesco and Jesse Carlson in hot pursuit, second and third. The top 3 trucks have separated themselves from the rest of the field just a little bit, and then the second group of trucks is being led by Ayrton Frederick in the 45. Alex Tesdall scored in 5th in the 98, and it's a hornet's nest. It's a dogfight from about 5th, 6th on back. Jordan Roughton in the 17 right there running in 6th. Josh Colm-Diaz trying to take 7th from Jeffrey Robinson Jr., and then Jeffrey's teammate, Beam SKP, is right there in 9th. Armstrong in the 15 rounds out the top 10. Timmy Brown in 11th, and Trenton Krentz, the 2-time NASCAR World Champion from Gran Turismo Sport, running in 12th. The field a little bit spread at this point, and it's been fun to watch the 2 Rockstar Racing teammates, the Toyotas, 51 and the 16. They're both round of 8 playoff drivers, and one of them enters above the cut line for the round of 8. That's Beam in the 16, enters 1 point above the cut line, and Jeffrey in the 51 enters only 3 points below the cut line for the beginning of the round of 8. So they both have a very good chance of punching their ticket into the round of 4, and they just made a little bit of contact there. They bounced off each other in turns 1 and 2. It was nothing serious, but you could tell the handling on Beam's 16 truck is a little bit on the tighter side at this point. Drifted up into the side of the 51 just a little bit, and they're both going to soldier on. Timmy Brown has taken the 10th position away from Jason Armstrong in the 15, so put Armstrong back into 11th. Gotham is the leader, and the battle for second is on here between Alex Tesdall and Jordan Roughton, and those two battling like that. Oh, excuse me, it's not them battling for second, actually. The battle for second is actually between Nick Francesco and Jesse Carlson. There's good battles all over this racetrack, and I got a few of them mixed up here. It's Ayrton Frederick in the 4th that's beginning to drive away from the second group a little bit and even gain a little bit of ground on the top 3. These 2 drivers right here battling side by side, that's allowing the race leader Gotham and the number 32 Silverado to drive away a little bit. There was minor contact between the 88 and the 24 coming out of turn 2 that last time by. They're both going to settle down and get back single file as they go into turn 3. And Nick Francesco is going to hang on to the second position. Good action all over this racetrack, and it's been fun to watch so far. Stage 1 in the history books. We're working laps here in Stage 2. We'll throw it down to the in-race reporter, Cameron Norton. Cameron, is there less pressure on you to go out there and get these wins and get these good finishes now that you're not necessarily going out there in the playoffs and trying to get the championship?
Yeah. We just want wins. I had a little incident just a few months ago. I had a disconnected gas pedal and went into the wall. So we'll call it that. But we're going to go win. We're going to try. We're going to do our thing.
Good luck to you, and hopefully you can soldier back. Yeah, you can see the front end damage to the number 3 Silverado. It doesn't look too bad, but you can tell it's affecting the performance a little bit of that truck, and because of that, he's dropped outside of the top 10, I believe. What position are you in, Cameron?
I am in 11th.
That's what I thought, yeah, so that puts Armstrong up into the 10th position, and we're watching
Armstrong is 12.
Oh, so okay. I was wondering what was going on. And we also have 2 trucks off the racetrack. We should have let everybody know. Trenton Krentz and Scorpion, 2 Rockstar Racing Toyota Tundras. And connection issues, engine failures we call them, have put them both on pit road and motionless and done for the day. The battle for 5th is on between Jordan Roughton and Alex Tesdall. They've got company with Jeffrey Robinson Jr., Josh Colm-Diaz, Beam SKP in the 16, still right there as well. Oh, Josh Colm-Diaz got a little wiggly coming out of 4 there, held on to it, and we can also let everybody know Nick Francesco in the 24, bringing it down pit road, and he's the first truck amongst the leaders to bring it down for scheduled service in Stage 2. Gotta wonder if it's only going to be 2 tires and maybe a can of fuel, because I don't think that they have much further to go in Stage number 2.
They're coming to 11th leaders.
Alex Tesdahl in the 98 going to come down pit road, it looks like, as well, slowing and letting everybody know. Josh Colombiez, Beam SKP, coming to pit road as well. Beam and Alex, the 16 and the 98, they are round of 8 drivers, so they're looking for the fastest pit stop possible here. They're looking for some stage points if they can help it. We're all chasing the 32. I know that truck is fast. I drove it to 2 wins earlier this season, and I've been using it for a hot seat opportunity for drivers to come in here and showcase their talents. Gotham has done just that. He's done a great job. Jason Doro also drove the 32 for the Eldora truck race, and Tanner Gray drove the 32 to a top 10 at Canadian Tire Motorsport Park. And I'm really happy with the driver development program that I have going for this 32 Silverado. We saw Gotham get the inside wall on his way to entering pit road. It's going to give him a little bit of damage that he's going to need to repair under this pit stop. Might cost him an extra 3, 4, 5 seconds to repair that damage. He might elect to wait until the end of the stage. We'll have to see where he cycles through at the end of all this. Jeffrey Robinson Jr., round of 8 driver for Rockstar Racing, coming down pit road and surrenders the lead, I believe. I think this is actually going to give the lead over to maybe Armstrong in the 15. We'll get an update from Cameron Norton, driver of the 3, on who the leader is.
The 45 is the leader, and I'm in 4th.
Oh man, and I'm assuming that some of these drivers are yet to come down pit road, but here comes the race leader. Ayrton Frederick is going to surrender the lead, and that's going to hand it over to Jordan Roughton in the 17 for the time being. And Timmy Brown in the 8 stays on the racetrack another lap. I think he'll be in 2nd until they make their scheduled green flag pit stops. Ayrton Frederick has a win this season for the Motormaster Series and the Truck Series. And looking to add more, and we just got a report from Cameron Norton. Nick Don Francesco spun, and he's actually on pit road right now, but he's going full speed, so you can tell that he missed the commitment cone line and that he's not locked down and held to pit road speed, thankfully for him. He drove it down pit road to keep it away from everybody else while he was getting back up to speed and full power. And yeah, tough break for Nick, because he had a shot to go out there and possibly win this stage. I didn't see exactly how he spun or what caused that, but he's going to have his work cut out for him for the rest of stage 2. Jordan Roughton in the 17 surrenders his track position. He led a lap there, and now he's on pit road for scheduled service. There's a couple of more trucks on pit road doing the same. Timmy Brown in the 8 truck stayed out just as long as Jordan, his teammate, did. Both of those drivers driving for No Shift Motorsports, and they both advanced to the round of 8. Remember, it was Armstrong, their No Shift Motorsports teammate, that just barely did not make the round of 8 by 1 single point. Sometimes that's all it takes, folks, and that 5th place finish in stage 2 at Bristol for Timmy Brown in the 8 is really what was able to bump him 1 point above Armstrong and put him into the round of 8. For you Armstrong fans, luckily for you guys and for him, he made the round of 8 for the NASCAR Motormaster Series in the Xfinity cars on Mondays, so still has a shot to win a championship for Motormaster Mondays. Tune in for that. And let's throw things down to the in-race reporter, the Bristol winner, the Bristol Master perhaps, Alex Tesdahl, driver of the 98. Alex, who's the race leader? How many laps to go in the stage?
Cam is currently the leader, but he's on pit road, and it's coming 5 going to stage.
It's getting really interesting and really close here. A lot of these drivers with a lot of different strategies here. Saw Nick Don Francesco short pit. Saw others come all down at the same time, like Josh Colombiez, Alex Tesdahl, Nick Don Francesco, or excuse me, Beam SKP. And then we saw drivers like Cameron Norton staying out as long as they can. And it should hand the lead back over to the 32 or maybe the 45. 45? Oh, wow. And so we're watching a good battle for the race lead right now. And for the stage 2 win between Ayrton Frederick in the 45 and Gotham in the 32. I think Gotham has the fresher tires. He pulls to the outside to make a move on Ayrton Frederick. He's going to take the race lead going down the back straightaway. He pulls out by about 2 truck lengths as they go into turn 3. Jesse Carlson scored in third in the 88 Ford F-150 for Steel Horse Motorsports, another round of 8 playoff driver. In fact, the top 2 drivers are non-playoff drivers. They didn't even make the round of 12, folks. It's not like they were a playoff driver and they got eliminated. They're out here just going for wins and for stage wins, trying to keep the sponsors and the team owners happy, and they're doing a great job doing that. Jesse Carlson in third is... Yes, sir. I was just talking about him. Jesse Carlson in the 88 truck is actually the highest running playoff driver, highest running round of 8 driver, scored in third. And 2 laps to go. Pit road is closed. Right now we're watching the battle for 4th, 5th, and 6th, and this is very important here, folks, because there's a couple of drivers in this group that are round of 8 drivers. That includes the 17 of Jordan Roughton, the 16 of Beam SKP, and it's the top 5 that get the stage points. So as of now, it's Jordan Roughton, Beam SKP running 4th and 5th, and they're the ones that are in position in this group here to get some stage points. The white flag has been shown. The 32 has the stage win well locked in hand, I would think. And we're going to keep our eyes on this battle for 4th, 5th, and 6th, and 7th for that matter, until the end of stage 2. Right now, Jordan Roughton in the 17 has the bottom. Beam SKP in the 16 has the top, and they're going into 3 and 4 for the final time in stage 2. The 32 of Gotham has secured the stage 2 win, and coming out of turn 4, stage 2 is in the history books. Jordan Roughton held on for 4th, and Josh Colm-Diaz held on to 5th. It was wild side-by-side racing with a little bit of contact there as well. We'll throw it down to the in-race reporter, Alex Tesdall, to get the complete top 5 for stage 2.
Gotham, Ayrton, Oof, PC, and NASCAR King.
And how many trucks do we have on the lead lap?
12.
12.
And pretty much all of these drivers have a chance to go out there and win this race still, folks, and steal the show. And 8 of them are playoff drivers and want to win this race to punch their ticket into the round of 4. Who's going to do it? They've all shown great speed in this race. The green flag is back in the air. Final stage time. It's the Las Vegas 200. There's only 4 races left, folks, until we crown a 2021 NASCAR Tailgate Truck Series champion. And to get to Phoenix, you need to either win a race or you need to point your way in. And all of these drivers have a mission to do either one of those. Ayrton Frederick in the 45 is the leader. Jesse Carlson in 2nd. Jordan Roughton in 3rd. Gotham in 4th. And it's a side-by-side battle for 5th. Whoa, the 32 got really loose on the front straightaway. He saved it. And thankfully he saved it, because that was going to take out the latter half of the field there. From about 5th or 6th on back was going to be in a pile up there. Great save by the 32. And neither one of these drivers, none of them giving up. The inside line looks strong for turn 3 and 4, but honestly on exit, especially coming out of turn 2, the outside line has some power. It's hard to complete these passes. It's hard to get a good enough run to pull alongside and to complete the pass by the end of one of these corners and slide up in front of the other truck. It takes a lot of patience, takes a lot of good driving, and once you get stuck in the pack, it's hard to advance your way forward. Track position has been key, the draft has been key, and good decision making has been key. Ayrton Frederick, Jesse Carlson, Jordan Roughton, Alex Tesdall, Jeffrey Robinson Jr., the top 5, Josh Colm-Diaz, Cameron Norton, Beam SKP, and Gotham and Timmy Brown. Rounding out the rest of the top 10, Nick Don Francesco, the regular season champion, scored an 11th, 12 trucks on the lead lap. There was contact there between teammates, the 3 and the 23. Cameron Norton, Josh Colm-Diaz, they both entered Bristol earlier tonight. The last race in the round of 12 in a must-win situation. They both finished in 2nd and 4th and did everything they could to walk away with the win there. Earlier tonight, they almost did it. Timmy Brown wiggled there in the 8 truck, saved it, but he's going to lose touch with the lead group here. There you see him. He's in 10th, but he might even lose that to Nick Don Francesco in the 24. Meanwhile, up front, they're all chasing Ayrton Frederick. He's got 2 NASCAR Tailgate Truck Series wins in his career. One of them came this year. They both were on road courses, and I know he would love to get that first ever win on an oval track. It very well might happen here tonight. Ran strong earlier tonight at Bristol, but when it comes to the ovals, it's more the 1.5 miles where he really excels. Right now he's excelling, and he's got a round of 8 driver with 4 wins. Jesse Carlson right behind him in 2nd, so he's in good company. He's being challenged by some of the very best in the series, and he's holding his own up there. Well, I spoke too soon. To the bottom goes Jesse Carlson looking for the lead. This is on the front straightaway now and heading into turn 1. He's there door to door and no contact made. Plenty of space between the two, actually. Never mind, now the gap closes as they exit turn 2. Still no contact, but he's still there. And never mind, back to single file. Goes back in behind the 45 Silverado of Ayrton Frederick. 4 now, looking to build another run and make another challenge. The thing about it is he's got to play defense as well. Jordan Roughton in the 17 is right there. Gotham in the 32 is slowly working his way back forward. He dropped back into the 9th position earlier, and now he's all the way back up into 4th. Gotham in the 32 thinking the outside. He was going to go with Jesse Carlson, but Jesse got loose coming out of turn 2. A few trucks had nowhere to go. Cameron Norton, Jeffrey Robinson Jr., Nick Don Francesco, they all are going to pile in. Timmy Brown got a piece of it. Jason Armstrong in the 15 as well. And I believe that that's going to draw a caution.
Yep. Very late.
Second caution of the race for an on-track incident. What it does is it saves a lot of these drivers that spun and got involved in that, and also a lot of these drivers that lost the draft with the lead group. And yeah, we're going to rack them up double file again and let them loose in the final stage. How many laps to go?
64 or 63.
Yeah, and they're going to burn a few too when they restart, so you're going to restart with about 60 or 61 laps remaining here in the Las Vegas 200. And the question is, folks, who's going to hit the jackpot tonight? Who's going to win? Who's going to punch their ticket into the Final 4? Or is the show going to be stolen by one of these non-playoff drivers? Ayrton Frederick, Gotham, Cameron Norton. They're all running very strong, and all of them very capable of going up there and winning this event, just like all of these round of 8 playoff drivers are. The green flag back in the air. Ayrton Frederick, Gotham, Jordan Roughton, Alex Tesdog. They lead them into turn 1. Ooh, the 17 pushed up a little bit there in 1 and 2. I don't know if his truck got a little out of shape or if he was trying to keep Alex behind him, but there was a bit of contact made that opened the door for Josh Colm-Diaz in the 23, the blue and white Silverado down there, and he's looking for 3rd. And we have a battle for the lead. They were nearly 3 wide. They are 3 wide now. Oh, they're going into turn 1, and they are 3 and 4 wide, trying to figure out who's going to lead this race. Unbelievable action here. These NASCAR Tailgate Truck Series drivers are giving you. Alex Tesdall just went way up the hill. He saves it, but he's going to give up a couple of positions as a result. He's now outside of the top 5. He was just up there in 3rd. And Gotham in the 32 is going to take the race lead. He had to really work to get back through the field to get back up there and in position and in contention to challenge for the race lead, and he's done it. He's worked his way around the 45, the 17, the 98, and he's back out front where the clean air is, and that's where the 32 truck was showing to be. at its strongest. Teammates side by side for 4th and 5th. Nick Don Francesco in the 24. Josh Colin-Diaz in the 23. They're going to sort it out here by the time they hit turn 1, I believe. It looks like it's going to be Josh in the 23. I was going to say single file by then, but Nick in the 24 drove it in a little bit deeper than he normally does to stay side by side with his teammate. Beam in the 16. Just behind the top 5, running in 6th. He clears Timmy Brown in the 8 truck, slides down and takes the inside line through 3 and 4. And Jesse Carlson got a little bit loose coming out of turn 4. Came down into the side of Timmy Brown in the 8 truck. Both trucks held on to it. Alex Tesdahl, Jeffrey Robinson Jr., Jason Armstrong, Cameron Norton, they're all right there, running from about 7th on back to the 12th position. Top 12 all nose to tail, double file. You could throw a blanket on top of them. In fact, the top 2 are the only ones that are kind of separating themselves from the rest of the field just a little bit. The rest of them are all still side by side and trying to figure out who's going to lead that second pack and try to catch the top 2. Right now it looks like it's going to be Josh Colin-Diaz in the 23. And around when Cameron Norton in the 3 truck on the front straightaway will throw it down to the in-race reporter, Cameron Norton. Cameron, what happened there?
Got very loose. I did some driving there, but we're alright.
Yeah, no damage to the 3 truck. You went through the grass, and thankfully this is not a real race, because it seems like every time we see a car or a truck go through the grass in one of those NASCAR races, they tear the splitter up on them. But the 3 Silverado looks pretty good, and you're on the lead lap. Kind of just need a caution to get back into things. And they're still chasing the 32 truck of Gotham. He's looking for his first ever NASCAR Tailgate Truck Series win. And we're watching the battle right now for 3rd and 4th between the 24 and the 23. 24 is the regular season champion, 7 wins this season. Josh Colin-Diaz in the 23. 3 wins for him this season. Was shockingly eliminated in the round of 12. Was unable to attend one of the races, and that's ultimately what cost him a chance to advance to the round of 4. He was in a must-win the round of 8. He was in a must-win situation earlier tonight at Bristol. He finished in 2nd in that race and came that close to punching his ticket into the round of 8 and bumping Timmy Brown in the 8 truck out of a round of 8 spot. But now Josh has no pressure on him. There's no championship implications, and he can focus on going and getting those wins. Nick Don Francesco just went for a spin through the grass. There was contact made between he and Jordan Roughton in the 17. A couple of trucks got out of shape there, and Nick had nowhere to go. He was unable to save it without really spinning that truck. And we have a caution on the racetrack for the 3rd time in this race for an on-track incident. And we have under... What do we have for laps to go?
51 to go.
Oh, geez. So we're going to have about 48 laps to go when we restart here. And these drivers are getting about 24 laps on fuel. So this is going to be close. Everyone might be able to make it from here on one more pit stop if it were to go green the entire way. But who knows if it's going to go green the entire way. Tell you what, the 32 truck has been strong. The 45 truck has been strong. And the funny thing about it is they're non-playoff drivers, folks. They're coming in here and just trying to get the win for their personal driver career here in NASCAR. And it would be the first win for Gotham if he can do it. It would be the 3rd Truck Series win of Ayrton Frederick's career. And here we go, folks. We're lined up and ready to go. The 24 truck of Nick Don Francesco is actually off the track and out of the race, done for the day. The regular season champion not having a great start to the round of 8. And the green flag is back in the air. You're watching the Las Vegas 200 on NASCAR Heat 5. 4th annual season for the NASCAR Tailgate Truck Series started back on NASCAR Heat 2. And most of these drivers have been racing together for years. So it's Gotham, Ayrton Frederick, and Jordan Roughton. 1, 2, 3. They have about a truck length or two of an advantage over the drivers ranked 4th and 5th. Alex Tesdall, Josh Colm-Diaz. They actually just bounced off each other a little bit as they head into turn 3. Kind of looked like Josh in the 23 pinched him down just a little bit, and he's going to take the 4th position away. Alex slips to 5th, and Beam SKP in the 16 truck running in 6th right there. Took a look to the outside and then tucked back in line and thought better of it. Gonna wait for another run instead. Cameron Norton 7th, Jesse Carlson 8th. They're side by side. Jesse drifted up into the side of Cameron just a little bit. Cameron had to go up the hill and chase it, saves it, and goes back to the 8th position. Jeffrey Robinson Jr. in 9th, Jason Armstrong in 10th, Timmy Brown running in 11th. And to continue the tradition here for the NASCAR Tailgate Truck Series, we are going to do a crank it up, and hopefully we can do it at a time where we're not going to see a caution. We've only seen 3 cautions for an on-track incident in this 134-lap race. We have about 45 laps remaining. You're watching the Las Vegas 200 here on NASCAR Heat 5. Turn the volume up. Turn the volume knob up, and enjoy the crank it up. Enjoy the sound of these NASCAR trucks on NASCAR Heat 5. And crank the volume down again, and we're going to bring you back to full commentary of the Las Vegas 200 here on 5, and it is the fourth to last race of the season for the 2021 NASCAR Tailgate Truck Series season. The first race in the round of 8 for the playoffs, and we're watching a good battle here between two non-playoff drivers for the lead. Right now it's Gotham in the 32 holding on to it, and Ayrton Frederick in the 45 running in second. The battle for third is right here. Jordan Roughton in the 17. Josh Colombiez in the 23. Jesse Carlson in the 88. They are third, fourth, and fifth. The two highest running round of 8 drivers are running in third and fifth. Those two Fords that you're watching on your screen, the black and green 17 and the yellow and silver 88. The 23 there that you see Josh Colombiez. He scored in fourth. He was eliminated in the round of 12. He was in a must-win situation earlier tonight at Bristol and finished in second in that race. Came close to being a part of this round of 8 with these drivers, but still out there having a good night and looking for the win. The third group being led by Cameron Norton, driver of the 3. He scored in the 6th position. Beam SKP, the driver of the 16 Toyota Tundra there, scored in 7th. He's the third highest running round of 8 playoff driver. Jeffrey Robinson Jr. in the 51, the fourth highest running round of 8 playoff driver, running in 8th. Armstrong in 9th, Timmy Brown in 10th, Alex Tesdall in 11th. Timmy Brown, the 5th highest running round of 8 playoff driver, and it's Alex Tesdall, the 6th highest running round of 8 playoff driver. Nick Don Francesco out of the race. He's going to finish in the 12th position, I believe, and he'll be the 7th highest finishing round of 8 playoff driver. Brett Baker was unable to attend this race. He will not be receiving points, and therefore he will be the furthest below the cut line heading into the last 2 races in the round of 8 next Tuesday, right here on the NASCAR Series Racing YouTube channel. A moment ago we saw Cameron Norton come down pit road, scheduled pit stop for him here in the final stage. It's a little early, but he's going to try to utilize those 4 fresh Goodyear Eagles to leapfrog some of these drivers in front of him, get some track position, and hope that it pays off for him. We'll let everybody know when we see more trucks making their way down pit road. Oh, here we go. Race leader Gotham in the 32, Jordan Roughton in the 17, Jesse Carlson in the 88, and more are all coming down pit road. Josh Colombiez and Timmy Brown as well. Pit road, a very busy place. We saw Cameron Norton come in, and then the very next lap we see 4 more trucks coming down pit road for scheduled service. And this is going to be close, folks. A lot of these drivers are going to be very close to making it to the end of the race on the fuel and the tires that they have. Ayrton Frederick in the 45 staying on the racetrack an extra couple of laps here that might benefit him in the long run. We'll have to actually get an update maybe on the fuel and tire situation, at least maybe an update on how many laps to go in the race.
27, 26.
Oh, okay, so see, it's going to be really close because I think that these drivers can go anywhere from about 21 to 24 laps on the fuel and the tires that they have. I think the fuel is closer to 24. I'm not sure where the tires are with all this. So Ayrton coming in now with 25 laps to go. He would be very, very close to making it the entire distance from here to the finish on the fuel and the tires that he has if this race were to stay green. It might be the race-winning move, but keep in mind if a caution comes out, it changes everything, folks. So stay tuned all the way to the end. A win for a playoff driver locks them into the championship 4, but so far it's been the 32 and the 45 stealing the show a little bit here, at least for the final stage. We saw some flurries from the round of 8 playoff drivers earlier in this one. Who's the leader right now?
45 still.
Oh, wow. And so he's leaving pit road now. We'll have to see 32. Where he... Oh, okay, so the 32's already cleared him, and he's heading into he's heading out of turn 2 now, actually. So put the 32 back out front. and with a very big lead, short pitting compared to Ayrton Frederick in the 45. Ayrton stayed out a couple of extra laps there, and it might give Ayrton the win if we stay green all the way to the finish and if he can make it on the fuel and tires that he has. But if a caution comes out, or if Ayrton cannot make it, it looks like Gotham is going to win this race. It really depends on who's going to make it the rest of the way without having to pit one more time. Let's throw it down to Alex Tesdahl, driver of the number 98 Ford F-150 for Steelhorse Motorsports, one of the round of 8 playoff drivers. Alex, where do you think the fuel and the tires stand for everybody? Do you think anyone can make it the whole way?
Start saving the roll pits.
Interesting stuff. See, the reason why I ask is because everybody restarted here with 48 laps to go from that recent caution, and these drivers can go anywhere from like 23 to 25 laps on the fuel that they have. So I knew it was going to be close, but I knew that some drivers were going to go for it as well. It's playoff time, and a win gets you in to the championship 4, so we'll have to see how it all unfolds. They're all chasing the 32 truck right now of Gotham, and I believe that it's Josh Cole Diaz in the 23 who scored in the 2nd position, with Ayrton Frederick running in 3rd and Beam SKP in the 16 running in 4th. So the highest running round of 8 playoff driver, from what I can tell here, is the 16 truck of Beam SKP, and he just took the 3rd position from Ayrton Frederick. The next highest running round of 8 driver is another Rockstar Racing Toyota, Jeffrey Robinson Jr., who scored in 5th. Getting down into the final 20 laps here of this race at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. It's been a wild and exciting, chaotic season for 2021 NASCAR Tailgate Truck Series, 4th annual NASCAR Truck Series season on the NASCAR Heat games. Started back on NASCAR Heat 2, and man, how it's evolved over the years. The level of talent, the level of competition, it's unbelievable. And it's a lot of fun to sit here in the broadcast booth and be joined by a couple of in-race reporters and watch 15 to 25 of my friends go out there and battle for these race wins every Tuesday. I have a great time doing it, and I have a great time keeping track of all of the historical data for these drivers. A lot of them really study those all-time records and try to beat them to make a bigger name for themselves here in NASCAR. Timmy Brown drawn up on the tailgate of Alex Tesdahl, the driver of the 98. This is a battle for position inside the top 10. Both of them are round of 8 playoff drivers. I believe it's actually a battle for the 7th and 8th positions on the racetrack, correct? Yeah, that's what I thought. Cameron Norton just in front of them. In fact, my 2 in-race reporters are running 6th and 7th here on your screen, the 3 and the 98. The 3 of Cameron Norton was eliminated earlier tonight at Bristol in the round of 12. Fought valiantly to a 4th place finish in that one. Was in a must-win situation and nearly pulled it off. And we're watching a good battle here between Alex and Timmy for the 7th and 8th positions. There was a little bit of contact made between the two. Timmy Brown is now about 3-4 truck lengths behind Alex, but still right there with him and close enough to stay in the draft with him. Maybe get another run at him here. They have a safe distance to the next truck behind them. Scored in 9th, and that is the 15 of Jason Armstrong. There you see him. Missed out on the round of 8 by 1 single point. Timmy Brown advanced and Jason did not. But keep in mind, for you Armstrong fans out there, he advanced to the round of 8 for the NASCAR Motormaster Series on Motormaster Mondays in those Xfinity cars. So tune in on the NASCAR channel to watch him progress his way towards the Final 4. And honestly, looking at the names in the round of 8, it would truly be a remarkable Cinderella story if Armstrong can go out there and advance his way to the Final 4 and win that championship. So we'll all find out together if he can do it. really impressed with Beam SKP as well. He's running third right now in this race. His one win came on a road course. He's really skilled and talented on the road courses when it comes to Gran Turismo Sport and Formula One games. And he's been learning all season long when it comes to these NASCAR Heat games. When he started the season, he was very new with them, and he was still coming into his own over here and learning what adjustments did what. And now he's got a win. He made the playoffs. He locked himself into the round of 8. And here he is off to a great start in the round of 8. No stage points for him in the first 2 stages, but he's on pace here to finish in the top 5 unless something wild happens in the late stages of this race. He's currently the highest scored round of 8 driver in this race, running in third. Armstrong comes to pit road, surrenders the top 10 position, and everyone's still chasing the number 32 of Gotham. Looking for his first ever NASCAR Tailgate Truck Series win. Looking to steal the show here from the playoff drivers. Recently entered the NASCAR Platinum Cup Series race at Talladega. Won a stage in that race and finished in the top 10. Had a good run there. Having a great run here tonight as well. Let's quickly throw it down to the M-Race reporter, Alex Tesdell. Oh, and we're getting an update here.
Tires aren't going to make it seems like, Tyler.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess they're not. See, I was wondering about this, and I think that some drivers might be able to pull it off, but clearly Beam SKP in the 16 was unable to get the entire length of the race. He's on pit road getting service. Armstrong was another one doing it, and yeah, that's a shame. Thank you for the update, Cameron. How many laps to go?
I am coming down to less than 12 to go.
So very early for Beam to come to pit road. He must have known that he wasn't going to make it, so he elected to come early, maybe get 2 tires and put them to good use. I'm really not too sure what the deal is with that. Must have just not known that he could make it the entire distance. Sometimes it's best to come early and get the fresh tires, use it to your advantage, and maybe leapfrog some drivers that try to make it the entire distance and maybe fall short. Watching the leader here in the 32. He just worked his way around one of the round of 8 playoff drivers, put him a lap down. That's Jesse Carlson. Jesse got involved in an incident earlier in this race, got loose in front of a couple of trucks. Contact was made, lost the draft with the lead group, and now falls 1 lap down to your race leader. Tiny bit of front end damage to that Ford F-150. Might not be hurting the performance of that truck, but having no drafting help and all of that certainly doesn't help his cause to advancing to the championship 4. Nobody else coming to pit road yet, and we can tell that the pace has dropped for a couple of these drivers. Some of them running lower lines through the corners because they're just simply running slower speeds through the corners. They're lifting sooner and trying to save those tires and that fuel. Here comes Josh Colm-Diaz, the 23. He's coming to pit road. Jeffrey Robinson Jr. in the 51 is going to do the same. Josh was eliminated in the round of 12 earlier tonight at Bristol. Was in a must-win situation and finished second in that race. Jeffrey Robinson Jr., a round of 8 playoff driver, looking for a strong run here in tonight's race. Entered the round of 8, 3 points below the cut line based on everybody's playoff points.
Brown in the 3rd.
And how about it? Timmy Brown in the 8 truck up at the 3rd. Oh, but it was short-lived. He's coming to pit road. He's going to surrender 3rd to Cameron Norton in the 3, and Beam SKP in the 16 truck is the next truck behind Cameron, but I know he's been to pit road. So Alex Tesdall up into 4th, Jordan Roughton up into 5th, and man, the running order is changing drastically here every lap because more and more trucks are coming down pit road to take on tires and fuel. They cannot make it the distance, some of these drivers. And we've got to have under 10 laps to go by now, right, Alex?
8 to go, I believe.
8 to go. And Cameron Norton coming to pit road next. So, man, evidently nobody maybe is able to make it the distance. The only one that might be able to do it is Ayrton Frederick in the 45. He was lifting a lot ever since he came back off of pit road after getting service. He stayed out longer than anybody else. going to be interesting to see if the 45 can make it the entire distance. I think that he's the closest one to doing it by the numbers. The 32 is on pit road. He surrenders the race lead. That's huge, folks. And Jesse Carlson in the 88 truck is on pit road as well. He was the first truck one lap down. Keep in mind, everybody, if a caution comes out during the middle of all of this, it changes everything even more, but I believe that this hands the lead over
to the 45.
Does it?
Yes.
And so, yeah, I think he's going for it. I think there's 6 laps to go, or maybe even 5 now. He's heading into turn 1, and he's going for it, guys. And why not? Not 5 to go? See, and why not? You know, non-playoff driver. There's no serious precautions or there's nothing at stake for him. There's nothing to lose for him. It's not like he's going to get eliminated in a playoff round here. He would love to go out here and get his first ever NASCAR win on an oval. And this might be the only way that he was going to do it. The 32 truck was putting on a blistering pace. He was able to break the draft barrier with them and drive away. And this might be the best opportunity for Ayrton to steal the show here tonight and pick up the win. 4 laps to go, 3.5 now. And if anyone's got the fuel and the tires to make it the entire distance of the race, it's that 45 machine. I think everybody else has either been to pit road for 2 tires and fuel, or they simply will be soon and cannot make it too much further.
It's going to be really interesting to see if he can make it.
Hit the X button twice for me, guys, and give me a running order rundown a little bit on who's running near you.
Gotham 4th, GTJ 5th, I'm 6th, 7th, Bowman 8th.
9th Armstrong, 10th PC Panthers.
So does that put Beam up in like 3rd or something like that? I think that it does.
I think it does. So if the 45 pits, then it's going to leave the door open for whoever's in 2nd.
I agree, and I'm not sure if it's Beam in the 16 or if it's the 23 of Josh Cole-Diaz. Did the lead just change hands or no?
No.
Okay, just Ayrton Frederick let a truck go. It was Josh Cole-Diaz. He just let Beam go as well. Ayrton's still the leader. And honestly, I think that it's Beam SKP running in 2nd and Gotham in the 32 truck running in 3rd. They both just went around Ayrton Frederick. And if Ayrton can...
really slow.
Yes, he is. And honestly, guys, if he can't make it, then I think that it's Beam SKP in the 16 truck that is in position to win this race. And I think we have 2 laps to go, right?
Yep.
Oh, my goodness. So 2 laps to go. Ayrton doing everything, and I mean everything he can to manage the huge gap that he has back to 2nd and bring that truck home with the win. Coming into turn 3 and 4 now. And he's going to have 1 more lap at the start-finish line. The white flag is going to be shown to him, and if he can make it, he's going to win the Las Vegas 200. If he can't, it's going to be Beam SKP in the 16 that's going to get the win. He's running in 2nd. Oh,
we did it.
Is that it?
Yeah.
And it's it. It's over. The checkered flags are in the air, and Ayrton Frederick in the 45 survives. He gets to the finish, and he wins the Las Vegas 200.
He was limping it as soon as I came on the front stretch, so he barely made it.
Did Beam get 2nd?
It was NASCAR King.
Oh, wow.
So I think as he was letting those guys go, if he was limping it, it opened the door for those guys.
And so Josh Cole-Diaz finishes in 2nd, Beam in 3rd, and Gotham in the 32 4th. We're watching all 3 of those trucks go around the track right here on my screen. Make sure you get photos of the results for me, Alex. And congratulations to Ayrton Frederick. I can't believe that he made it. I knew it was going to be close. I knew that he might be the only one that possibly could have made it. He stayed out much longer than everybody else through that first fuel run. And he started saving immediately when he came back off of pit road. And what a tremendous job for him. The highest finishing round of 8 driver, Beam SKP, the full-time driver out of France. And he'll pick up very valuable points here and he very well might be in a position to advance to the round of 4, depending on how he does in next week's 2 round of 8 races, the last 2 in the round of 8. Congratulations to all of these drivers on a very successful race. And we'll have some post-race interviews for you. Ayrton Frederick with the fastest lap of the race. Congratulations to him, and congratulations to all of these drivers. Stay with us. You'll see a blue screen for a couple of seconds here, but when we come back, we'll have post-race interviews. Beam got 3rd. Sweet. I don't know if he's up for interviews. Is Beam in here?
Yeah, I don't see him.
I don't see him.
All right, well, we're going to let the post-race interviews begin, and joining us first is the driver who finished in the runner-up spot, and that's Josh Colm-Diaz in the 23. Josh, you had 2 runner-up finishes here tonight. You needed that win badly earlier at Bristol to advance to the round of 8, and you nearly won this one as well here at Las Vegas. It came down to a wild strategy there at the end. Some drivers trying to make it, some drivers short pitting because they knew they couldn't make it, some drivers pushing as long as they could, thinking they could make it, and then quickly abandoning ship because they knew they couldn't make the whole distance. What was going through your mind? Did you know right off the bat you couldn't make it? And what was the truck feeling like through that final stage as you were trying to work your way to the finish?
Well, it stings after getting eliminated. This just shows how strong this team was. But I knew everybody was going to run out, so I remember from the Motormaster race and pulled that same strategy.
So you knew everybody was going to run out, and yourself included. So what did you do on that pit stop? Did you short pit and take 4 tires? We lost track of a few drivers.
No, I took 2, and I short pitted and took 2.
And how was the truck feeling throughout the stage, in the final stage mostly? Because we saw you up there battling for the lead, but we saw a lot of other drivers showing good speed as well. Where do you think you stacked up in this race?
On the long runs. My truck came in on the long runs.
Do you think you had a top 5 truck all race long?
Top 3.
All right, then. Congratulations on your runner-up finish, and good luck to you in the last 3 races of the season.
Yeah.
And moving forward to victory lane, and we find the driver of the number 45 Chevy Silverado, and that is Ayrton Frederick, and he owns Air Force Motorsports, and he actually is going to be purchasing the 40 and the 45 and a few other trucks to have his full team stacked up and ready to go for the 2022 season next year. But congratulations on your big win here tonight. It's your first NASCAR win on a NASCAR Heat game on an oval, and it's your 3rd career NASCAR Tailgate Truck Series win. Tell us what was going through your mind in the final stage trying to save the tires and the fuel. We were watching you, and we were watching the pace drop as you were trying to make it.
Yeah, it came down to the last stop because the couple cautions really messed up the fuel strategy for basically everybody. But I just knew, doing the math in my head, that if I could stretch the first long green flag run we had to the very last stop, or the very last lap that I had on fuel, that I could have a realistic chance of making it to the end on just one more stop. And I was running, I think, second, and the 32 went in, and he was really fast on that. I knew I'd have to throw something in there to try to get ahead of him because he was really fast. So I stayed out and tried to stretch the fuel while basically everybody else pit about 3 laps short on an empty tank. So I knew there was no way everybody else was going to make it. But I knew if I did my best and barely went full throttle at all the last stint that I might just make it. And I had the whole field lapped. And at that point I was like, well, if I could cross the line while everybody's lapped, then I don't even have to worry about running out of gas because, nobody can technically pass me. But the 23 got around me, and then a couple other guys got around me. And at that point, that's when I realized my math was a little bit off, and I was 1 lap shorter than I thought I was. So the last 2 laps, I was full throttle maybe 2 whole seconds. I mean, I was really lifting on the last 2 laps. And I ran out on the back straightaway and just rolled home. Luckily, I had that whole lap lead, because if I didn't have that, I probably wouldn't have made it back home first.
We were talking a lot in this broadcast about the round of 8 drivers and how quick they were all going to be in this race. And we saw Nick Donfrancesco and a few others from the round of 8 have a good run here tonight. Beam SKP finishing in 3rd and all of that. But for the most part, it was the 32 and the 45 truck kind of stealing the show. 2 non-playoff drivers. Did you have anything for the 32 truck? And is that kind of why you pulled the strategy that you pulled there in the final stage? How do you think your truck stacked up against the competition tonight?
At the very beginning of the race, it seemed like it was probably going to be a 4-truck race. I knew I was fast. The 32 was bad fast. It looked like the 88 and the 24 were really fast, but the 88 and 24 both had issues, so it came to the point where it was just me and the 32. And I feel like we were just about even, but it was really down to track position or, pulling a trick out of our back pocket. And we pulled away, he and I, earlier in the 3rd stage, and I knew if we could pull away and just make it a 2-horse race, it would really increase at least one of our chances of winning because everybody was going crazy behind us. So my main goal is to have us pull away and then just have it be between he and I because I'd prefer a 50-50 chance than me out of 15 other guys. So I sat behind him for the whole first 30-40 laps of the third stage, and that's when he went in and I decided to try to win on fuel mileage.
It looked like it was pretty hard to pass out there. We were watching drivers use the draft to their advantage and get good runs and try to pull alongside other trucks and complete the pass, but sometimes they would get stuck there and stall out and have company behind them, and they'd have to play defense for a bit. Tell us how hard it was to pass out there in this race and take us through the steps that you were taking to complete passes.
It was pretty tricky to pass inside or outside. Inside was a little bit easier, but the draft was strong, but as soon as he got on the back bumper, it was just gone. And if you try to pull out, you just hit a wall of air. When you're in the lead, you're sit and duck, and the pack would just catch right back up to you if they worked together. And that's why I worked with the 32, so that we could pull away and not worry about the pack. But when you pulled out of the draft, it was just a wall of air. And if you could get alongside just a little bit and get a little bit of side draft, that would save you a ton. But if you weren't alongside, you had almost no shot.
You're on a bit of a roll lately. You just won a race recently in the NASCAR Motormaster Series. You just won here tonight in the NASCAR Tailgate Truck Series. When do you think you're going to find victory lane for the NASCAR Platinum Cup Series and become the 12th driver to be a Triple Crown winner?
I'm hoping soon. A lot of road courses on the schedule, which I'm apparently pretty good at, and the mile and a halfs. I knew Vegas was a strong track. A lot of mile and a halfs I'm good at, so I'm thinking a road course or some mile and a half for Platinum Cup.
And do we expect you back in any of these last 3 races of the season for trucks on Tuesdays?
Oh, absolutely.
Awesome. And congratulations, buddy. You did it. Another win for you here in the NASCAR Tailgate Truck Series.
Thanks, sir.
That was Ayrton Frederick, one of the very best here on the NASCAR Heat 5 game, especially on the road courses, guys. And he's one of the drivers in NASCAR that is entering the King of the Road tournament that begins on April 12th. And will end on April 21st. Don't miss that, folks. A lot of talented drivers in that King of the Road tournament, including Salzano and Baronade and the Indy Roval race winner for the Winter Heat Series, Maxwell Castro, and more. So tune in live for that on the NASCAR Series Racing YouTube channel in April. And once again, congratulations to Ayrton Frederick. Congratulations to all of the drivers who had a great run here tonight. A lot of drivers came into this race needing a good run and a good points night to begin their round of 8. Some drivers found it and some drivers struggled, and so some drivers will have their work cut out for them for the final 2 round of 8 races next Tuesday here on the NASCAR Series Racing YouTube channel. Final thoughts from the in-race reporters, starting with Alex Tesdall, the driver of the 98.
Great great race all around. Everyone did good, and came down to fuel mileage at the end, which made the finish interesting. And I brought home a decent finish for myself, so yeah, on to the next one.
And final thoughts from Cameron Norton, driver of the 3.
It was a great race for us. Yeah, it came down to fuel. I stayed out on that extra set of before the last pit stop. We stayed out, tried to gamble, and then we were top 5 and all that. I'm happy with the top 10 run, but next week we got our favorite tracks, Talladega and Martinsville. Super, super dope and hyped up and excited and all beyond. We're going to go for it, and we're going to be super aggressive, so keep an eye out.
Yeah, definitely one to watch is Cameron Norton next week at Talladega, and one to watch next week at the short tracks, one of the short track masters around here, Alex Tesdahl, driver of the 98, won earlier tonight at Bristol, so keep your eye on him next week. Keep your eye on Cameron at Talladega next week. Thank you to everybody who joined us tonight. The first race in the round of 8 is in history books. The show was stolen by a non-playoff driver. Congratulations once again to Ayrton Frederick, the driver of the number 45 Silverado. We hope everybody enjoyed the show. Tune in next Tuesday to see who punches their ticket into the round of 4, the final 4 at Phoenix. 2 weeks from now, we will crown a 2021 NASCAR Tailgate Truck Series champion. Place your bets, pick your favorites, and be there. From all of us here at NASCAR, we're saying so long. And until next time, stay fast.